over 2,000 adults showed that 14% of them in elementary school wanted to be teachers. 13% wanted to be doctors. Another 12% of them wanted to go into space and be astronauts. Not this guy. I like my feet on the ground. I would have fallen in that 14% of people that wanted to be a professional athlete when they grew up. A professional soccer player, goalkeeper to be exact. This story isn't about how I became a professional soccer player, clearly. No, this story is about how sometimes we achieve dreams and goals that we didn't even know we had. Even at an early age, I knew it was going to take a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a few sacrifices in order to achieve my goals. I knew I had to do things that other kids weren't doing if I wanted to earn that. So at 10 years old, when my friends were conquering Contra on Super Nintendo, I was sitting in front of a fireplace with a bag full of bouncing balls. One by one, I would throw those balls at that jagged stone hearse and try to predict where those balls were going to fly and catch them. I would do this for hours and hours and hours because I knew I had to do extra if I wanted to achieve my dreams. Not only did I attend each and every one of my own soccer practices, I would tag along with my dad to his men's team's practice. I would stand behind the goal and I would watch the goalkeeper and mimic every single thing this guy did. I would watch his feet. I would watch the way he positioned himself. I would pay attention to the timing of his dives and his jumps. There I was, a 12-year-old kid diving into space, catching imaginary shots, making saves over and over and over in my head. Fast forward to my senior year, I had a couple of scholarships from some big soccer schools. I was on my way to achieving my dreams, and then it happened. October 13th, 1997. It was a district championship, Caldwell High versus our rival Nampa. It was a cold, rainy night, really hard physical game. So physical, in fact, that my best friend had to take a trip to the ER in the first half because of a gruesome head injury. Late in the second half, we have the lead. A ball gets kicked behind my defensive line. It was outside of my restricted area that I could use my hands, so I had to come out and kick it clear. I focused on the ball. I sprinted as fast as I could. And I got there first. I kicked the ball away out of danger. But right then, boom, I got hit by Joe Chandler from Nampa. And I remember as I was getting up, I remember thinking, man, what a cheap shot, Joe. Like, we played against each other for a long time, but we always played clean. What a cheap shot. And that distracted me from the reality that was going on, which I came to realize a few seconds later. When I tried to stand up, I felt something that I'd never felt before. I felt as if I only had one leg, and I fell down. I fell down really hard. And I was trying to figure out what happened, what's going on. And I looked down at my feet, and I see that my left leg was broken. Midway between my knee and my ankle, snapped in half. I was in shock. I'd never been hurt before, definitely never had anything broken. As my coach ran over to me and knelt down next to me, I looked up at him not knowing any better, and I said, "Snap it back, coach. Snap it back, I want to play." He looked at me with tears in his eyes, and he said, "Son, I'm sorry, you're done." Right then and there, tears just started coming out of my eyes. I was crying like a baby in front of a stadium full of people. And it wasn't because I was in any kind of pain. I wasn't hurting. The adrenaline took care of all of that. I was crying because my dream had come to a stop. It was over. It died right there that night on the field. The following spring came. I got back on the soccer field. I caught the attention of a couple of local schools. It was nothing like the universities that I had offers from. So it made it a lot harder to justify the sacrifices I would have to make as a teenage dad and a student athlete. Life went on, responsibilities changed, goals changed. I got a job here at T-Mobile, and within 4 months I got my first promotion. I was on my way to achieving new goals, new dreams. That's when my 5-year-old son and my 5-year-old nephew came up to me and told me that they wanted to play soccer and they wanted me to coach them. Now, I had never pressured my oldest son to play sports. I never pressured my youngest son to play sports. So for them to come to me and say, not only did they want to play a sport, but they wanted to play a sport that I loved, and they wanted me to coach, I didn't realize it at that time, but it was the start of something really special. So I put my professional goals on hold, and I decided to coach my son, my nephew, and a handful of their friends that I would soon learn to love as my own kids. Fast forward to October 20th, 2018. The team that I coach, the Caldwell Cougars, was in the state championship against a heavily favored Hillcrest. They scored 2 goals early in the game, and my boys fought back. We tied it 2-2 by halftime. It was early in the second half, about 3 minutes and 30 seconds to be exact, when my son, Nathan Tamayo, made this amazing play and scored a goal. Ended up being the game-winning goal of this game. It was a tough game. We held on to that win 3-2. And over 13 years of coaching, we had won a lot of games together, a lot of big games. And after these big games, I would never run to my son after the game. I would always seek out either my nephew or another kid that stepped up huge, a kid that may have overcome an injury, a kid that was going through a lot in life. I never wanted to make it seem like it was just about my son. I wanted them to understand that it was about all of them. It was a team. But not on that day. Not on October 20th of 2018. No, that was Nathan's day. And as you can see in this picture right here, that moment got captured. And clearly I had no problem letting the whole world know. And I have to thank the person who captured that moment, because it wasn't until the following day when I saw that photo that I realized my dream had come true. I didn't even know I had it. And you feel it, right? When you accomplish something, whether it's winning a big game, getting a promotion, getting a raise, anytime you do something that you worked really hard at, you feel that sense of accomplishment, right? And I felt it. If you had asked me when I was a kid if I would be a high school soccer coach, I'd have laughed at you. But in that moment, you'd have fooled me into thinking I wanted to do that my entire life. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about a time that you may have realized a goal or dream that came true you didn't realize you had, because it happens to all of us. So if there's one thing that you guys take from this today, I want it to be that no matter what adversity you may encounter, no matter what roadblocks you may have to get through, your dreams never die. It may not be the same dream that you started out with, but if you stay hungry and you stay humble, they will come true. Thank you.